welcome, my fellow operatives. My name is Taft Taylor, and today I am going to be speaking to Mr. Alexander Kelly from WEF. He also runs his own company called RUW, and this is season 3, episode 1 of the Nemesis Sessions. We got a new one. I know it's been a little while since we've been here, but we're back nonetheless. Mr. Alexander Kelly, how in the hell are you today?
I am doing absolutely fantastic. Thank you for having me on the show yet again, because viewers may know this is not the first time I have appeared on the Nemesis Session. That was a while ago, probably back in like August or September of last year.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a minute. That's for sure. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Glad to be on
But
here again, man.
well, good to see you. It definitely is. I wanted to take this opportunity. I'm a little rusty on doing the podcast. Usually, I'm just going on another person's podcast. Mr. Tom Bryce, good guy, by the way. If you haven't checked him out, ladies and germs, go check out Sportswire Radio. I'll go ahead and I'll put the description or a link to in the description down below, so that way you can all check him
Rightful
out.
shout out to Tom Bryce. Rightful shout
Yes.
out to Tom Bryce. He is one hell of a host.
He is definitely a hell of a host, and we are going to do what we can to. I know he's a busy man. He's got a lot of stuff going on with uh, bookings and having people out and everything. And then we're
He's a
going to
very
get you
busy
on there,
man.
though. What's going on, y'all, from Mr. Parker Teague? Welcome, Mr. Parker.
Yo,
I don't know you, Parker, but welcome nonetheless. Do you know Mr. Parker?
Parker watches the RUW channel and the official Alexander Kelly channel. He's been a subscriber. He's been a viewer for like past year or two. So yeah, I'm pretty familiar with him. What's going on, Parker?
How you doing, Parker? So again, oh, there was another one that I need to get on this show.
Hey,
He's been on
D'Angelo,
this
what is up, man?
Mr. D'Angelo LaFlame, hello. So we're here to talk about wrestling. We're here to talk about backyard and underground wrestling. I am, of course, I don't know if you've kept up with, I think you have, but I am the owner of ROEW Wrestling up in Michigan.
Yep.
Even though I'm not physically there in Michigan, I'm more down south in Alabama. It's still the fact that I'm running the business from down here, and I'm able to get things situated and squared away the way it is. And I brought you on the show today because I want to let the world know that a lot of people, you don't know certain guys until you get to know them. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm not going to blow a bunch of smoke up his ass, but I've watched this kid, Alexander Kelly, and I'm going to give you a little praise right here. So listen to me real fast. I see a kid right here who's about as old as Aaron Blaze. I think he's 19, 18 or 19. He's about to turn
I'll be
19.
19 in about 3 weeks.
There you go. And he's just as passionate about this business as a lot of other guys. And
You damn right.
there's a lot of guys that are older than him, that are older than some guys I know, who act like they know everything about this business, but they don't know a damn thing. There's a few companies out there, and these are companies that have been mentioned on Sportswire Radio, but we're not going to name drop them right now. But you know what? I'm just going to. Triple W is one of them. These are guys that are just plain wrestler, and there isn't nothing that just bothers me more than a guy or a company of guys who think they know wrestling and want to play wrestler, but they don't have the heart for it. They don't have the passion for it. And then they become unsafe. And then they end up hurting people. And people get hurt because there's no training involved and all this and all that. Well, this kid right here, Alexander Kelly, I could tell he's green as grass, but you can tell he's got a mindset for it. I'm not going to blow this bunch of smoke, like I said, but what I want to throw out there is if anybody deserves a chance, you should give this kid a chance because I really think he'd be willing to learn. Maybe his
Thank
old
you.
stuff isn't as great as what you would expect, but I think he's made aware of that and he's critiqued himself.
I'm very much aware of that.
He's willing to take a beating. He's willing to be a dummy in the ring. He's willing to go over anywhere, wherever he can to learn whatever he can. I'm speaking up for him because I have a louder voice than what other people, and not in the actual physical realm. I'm talking about across social media. He's got so many
Yeah.
followers that he can only reach out to, but I've got a more brand extension. So I figured I'd give a helping hand to somebody who's in need, and that's as far as wrestling. And Mr. Kelly, I'm going to give you the floor, and I want you to just say whatever you want, speak your mind, And tell the audience, tell all the operatives out there that watch this channel, because this channel is all about wrestling. And just like the hashtag says, all wrestling matters. I want you to explain to them who Alexander Kelly is, whether it's a character, out of character, and why you believe truly in your heart that you deserve to be in this business, and why it means so much to someone like you.
All right. Okay. All right. We're getting deep already here. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alexander Kelly. Okay, I am the president and owner of Real Undisputed Wrestling. You can go check us out here on YouTube. Just search up Real Undisputed Wrestling. It is the very first YouTube channel you will ever see. However, the one thing that I'm disappointed about when it comes to RUW is the fact that we technically only have one show. And that is because I was using WEF to kind of get, if any of you are familiar with WEF, I was using WEF to help build up RUW. I was using their ring until unexpectedly WEF, and I hate to inform anybody who is familiar with WEF, I will be the first and probably only person to say this, considering no one else really wants to say this. WEF is dead. Okay, WEF is unfortunately not coming back, which means I have to go off and do my own thing, find my own place, and reignite that flame in me and like that passion. But I wanted to say this right now. A lot of people have, a lot of people have been saying that, oh, Alexander Kelly's only a character. Oh, I know who you are in real life. You're not this, you're not that. Let me tell you something. The same people who have said that are the same people that I haven't seen in like 2 or 3 years. So let me tell you this. Alexander Kelly is me. Alexander Kelly is that person. Okay? My real name may not be Alexander Kelly, but we're not going to get into that. I am Alexander Kelly. Okay? And why do I deserve this shot? Because, listen, to any backyard wrestling organization out there, I am the most passionate and most well-deserved person you should have in your company. Because let me tell you, I could bring a whole lot to your company. My promo work, absolutely incredible. I give credit where credit is due, and I want to say thank you to James Taylor for actually helping me with my promo work, giving me advice on how to do this and how to do that when it comes to promos. And ever since I left WEF about 2 years ago to the day, I have been watching training videos. I have actually, me and my brother, my older brother, we would go to the backyard where he lives, because he lives with my dad. We would go up there and we would like lock up and practice grapples and stuff. So honestly, I'd say I haven't missed a beat, okay? I've even practiced my finisher on him a few times on solid ground, and he was okay with it. So yeah, I'd say I haven't skipped a beat. Yeah, I may have a little bit of ring rust since I haven't been in a ring in 2 years, but honestly, like, you get me in there, quick as that. Where am I
D'Angelo wants to know where you're located.
Where am I located? Okay, so this one is a good question because I actually have had backyard wrestling companies interested in me, like asking me, hey, where you at? Where am I located? I am located in Barberville, Kentucky. And from most backyard wrestling companies who have had interest in me, usually those particular companies are about 3 hours away or more, maybe like 2.5 hours. And I want to say this, I do not have my own personal transportation. So to any backyard wrestling organization out there, if you want me in your company, please provide transportation and don't have an issue with it. Okay? Thank you.
So obviously you're in need of help when it comes to transportation and getting to these places, but here's going to be my question for you. kind of putting you on the spot, but you need to think of it like an interview because all these other companies that would watch, I mean, mine included, if you were somehow able to go to a wrestling company, say you walk through the doors of ROEW and I open the door for you and let you come in, how would you approach everybody going into there? And if it's because I'm going to tell you firsthand, and don't take this as a bad thing, you need training. And I would want to
Definitely,
see
definitely.
you hit that ring, hit them ropes, do drills, hit bumps. I'd want to see what you could do in person, not doubting that you could do it, but that's what any wrestling company that's smart would do.
Hmm.
Because even me, I haven't had a match, an actual match since last July. And no matter what I do, whenever I get to my next match or wherever, the first thing I'm going to do is hit that ring, hit my bumps, because I know if anybody's got a shitload of ring rust, it's me. And when you talk about ring rust, it's going to talk about your cardio in the ring, taking
Hmm.
those bumps in the ring, hitting them ropes in the ring, and just going through the drills. So, my question to you is, and this is for anybody that's out there, if they open their doors to you, what's your intentions, mindset going into there? What's the first thing you would do if you showed up to any company?
Well, obviously, let them train, do whatever they want, suplex me, hit me with a spine buster, do as much as you can so I can learn as much as I can within the first few steps of training. Because I'm willing to take a beating just in training, period. But when I have a match, listen, okay? A lot of people underestimate me because I say this, but listen, when I have a match with you, beat the living shit out of me, okay? Obviously, I'm going to get some shots in, okay? But I want you to give me a beating because I like that feeling, okay? Because at least I know it was a good back and forth match. If my body is sore as hell after the match, it was definitely worth it because at least I got a good workout in. So
So
please, beat me up.
it's good that you're willing to take a beating, but so you've answered part of the question. I'm looking for two specific answers, actually, one specific answer. When you first show up to a company, what's
Mhm.
your mindset in going in there and meeting everybody? How would you introduce
Oh,
yourself? Or would you
okay.
just think that you're hot shit? Or I want to know about paying your dues. Would you show
Okay.
respect
So
when you go, or would you just not care? Or
whenever I go to a company, obviously I respect the athletes that are in that company because they are the ones who got the company where it is. Okay? And obviously my backyard wrestling career unfortunately has not lasted long. I mean, for crying out loud, I already stated I've been sitting at home for the past 2 years. So if a backyard wrestling company called me up and say, "Hey, we are insert name of company, we are located at insert name of location, would you like to come down here and train?" I'll be like, of course. And then when I get there, I'll greet everybody, handshake them, I'll ask them how long they've been there, how long they've been doing this, and I'll just kind of get a feel for everybody. So, like, that way I know who I'm comfortable working with.
right? Oh, that's good. That's good. So that's one thing. A lot of guys that it's not said a whole lot, but paying your dues at a beginning level when going into a company or an unfamiliar territory you've never been, I would highly recommend you introduce yourself to everybody there and get a feel
Definitely.
for them. Let them get a feel for you and how you are as an individual, and that you are all open eyes, open ears, and ready to go. And that's going to lead to this other thing, and that is don't answer it to your best of knowledge. There's no right or wrong answer because this is how people are going to learn who you are. You know of wrestling. You know wrestling. You know what it means in that ring. You know
Hmm.
as far as the physicality, but the mental part of it. I want to know what is your psychology. What's your psychology level in a ring in a match?
Okay, that's a good
There's no
question.
right or wrong answer. I just want to know what is your psychology level to putting together a match. If you
When the
don't know, it's
match
okay.
when the match is all said and done, I want people to talk about how good that match was. I don't want people to talk about what I can improve in that match because that is something I will figure out on my own. I want
Okay.
people to talk about how good that match was because my mindset is if I made a good, lasting impact on people in that match, I did my damn job right.
Mhm. Okay, so that's part of the answer, but that's not the answer I'm looking for. I want to know putting together a match. Can you put together a match in your head, and can you break down a little, like give me a basic match? What is the purpose when you're in that ring with an opponent? Say you and me were about to get into a ring. Okay, me and you about to have a match.
Okay.
Talk to me. This is breaking kayfabe. This isn't character. This is
Okay.
uh,
Bet.
athlete to athlete. Okay, and this is like if we're in a training session, we're in a ring right now. This is a test. It's not necessarily a test. It's just to see where your knowledge is on how this all process works. Because if anything, consider this a training session right now. So
Okay.
here's a early training session, and one thing people are going, oh, I'm Alexander Kelly. I'm James Taylor. Okay, I've been in this business for since 1998, 1999. Okay, well, let's get in the ring. What can you do? Show me how you put a match together. And then I'm not going to give you the answer, but I want to see what you would say.
Okay. What I would say is
Me and you are in the ring right now. Okay, we're facing, and we're going to put together a quick little 5-10 minute match. Break it down for me,
all right.
if you
We
can.
practice
If
we practice the finishing sequence first.
okay, why?
Like because at least we know how we're going to end the match and then whenever we get to that spot, we know how to progress it
Uh-huh.
and know that whenever that move is hit or finisher is applied, we know that that's reps. We know just to
So you're
either
talking
not
about
kick
an
out.
ending spot, the finish.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
just
yeah.
talking about the
The
finish.
finishing
Okay.
part of the match. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
the finish of the match. Then after that, we do the startup of the match, lockups, uh, the universal spot. Excuse me. Whatever you want to do to start the match, we're gonna do that second. Okay, we already have the finishing sequence. Now we need to work up to that. So
All
we
right,
start the
so
match.
let's pause right there. Let me ask you a kind of a two-parter that goes back into what you're already explaining. Number
Mhm.
one, do you know the meaning of the term ring general?
Isn't that like veteran?
Not necessarily. I just want to know what you think it is. If you don't know, I will tell you. It's okay. This is a learning curve for you. This is what you need to
Whenever I
know.
hear whenever I hear the term ring general, I think of someone who can work better in the ring or can have an idea of how he wants the match to go and what he wants to do.
Okay, so you're basically half right. A ring general between two people or whoever's in the match, the ring general usually is going to be the guy who's the most tenured, the guy who's got more of the skills. So, like if me and you were in a match, I'd be the ring general. I call the
Mhm.
spots. I'm going to be walking us through the match.
Okay.
That's what a ring general does. A ring general knows exactly what they need to do. Okay, the first thing they find out, they talk about it behind the curtain, and that's what's the finish. Okay, well, Alexander Kelly's going over. Okay, and then the two guys who are in the ring. Okay, how do you want to do the finish? What? Give me an idea of how you want to do this. Because is this going to be a story that progresses, or is this just a one-time match? Is this a squash match? Is this a whatever type of match it is? So let's say this is a long-term story match. How do we want to set up that finish? And then we discuss it. Now we know. Okay, Kelly's going over, and this is the finish. Great. All right, so since we got that broke down, which you were partly right there, now we're going to talk about how we want to start the match off to progress our story. Because in that ring, when you going into the ring with anybody, you're telling a story.
Hmm.
You're not going in there just to show spots. This is where these guys from Triple W and other companies that are, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it, trash, that don't know what they're doing, They just go out there for the glory and the spots, but they don't even know what the hell they're doing. They're like, I can barely take a hit. You know, the physicality is one thing, but it's not about just the spots. It's a matter on if you can put a match together and if you can take care of your dance partner. Because if I'm in the ring with you, if D'Angelo's in the ring with you, if Anthony Steele's in there, whoever's in the ring with you needs to know that they can trust you to protect them, and you need to be able to trust them that they're going to protect you. If you
Mhm.
go into a match and you have no idea, I just want to do a suplex. I mean, are you sure you want to do a? What if such and such has a record of breaking people's necks with a suplex? You sure you want him to do that? You want to find out these things before you have a match with somebody, just to
Yeah.
be safe. Facts, Mr. D'Angelo says. So, what do you take from that? From what I'm telling you?
I think it's really good advice. And honestly, like, it's the same mentality that I've had because honestly, you never know. Well, me personally, you never know when you're going to get back in the ring. You never know when a company is going to call you and ask you to come in and do this and do that. As soon as a company contacts you, do your research, okay? Watch like 2 or 3 shows. Actually, no, watch between like 5 to 8 shows. Do your research, try to figure out who you want to face heading into a company. Try to figure out who you're comfortable with working with. Try to figure out the style that you want to do in that ring because you need to work with someone who's more your style. Okay, so
Yeah, yes and no, but it's not really necessarily the style because we can have. I've been in a ring with many different people. I'm a brawler, and I've been in the ring
mhm,
with high flyers. I've been in the ring with super big powerhouses. I've been in the
I'm a
ring with
brawler
technical
too.
guys. I've been in the ring with technical guys. You should be able to mesh your style with theirs. It's just you got to find what works. So say me and if D'Angelo's still in here, say me and D'Angelo set a matchup, and me and him, I've never wrestled him before. Have I watched his work? Yeah, I've watched his work. I've done a little bit of homework on him, but that doesn't take away the fact of what the day me and him were to ever meet. I'd be like, hey, D'Angelo, bro, let's get in the ring. I want to see what you're actually capable of doing a little bit. I want to see if you could do certain basic moves with me. Because what that tells me as a veteran or as a guy who wants to ensure that I'm going to be safe, I want to see what he's capable of doing with me because my body weight is going to be different than his body weight. I want to know if he's going to be able to pick me up, suplex me. I want to know if that's off the table. You know what I mean? I want to get in the
Mhm.
ring and do basic tie ups with him and see what he can do. If I could keep up with his pace, I probably have to drink two pots of coffee just to keep up with somebody like D'Angelo because I'm a bigger guy and I'm slower. You know, I
Yeah.
could be pretty fast, but a guy like him, he's probably quicker than a hiccup, and I'd probably have to drink 2 pots of coffee just to keep up with him. But you see, it doesn't matter about what you look like, what your style is. The fact is how can y'all blend that together? Because sometimes polar opposites from each other can put on an amazing match together. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that's the mindset you should have when going into a match. I like matches where the guys have different styles, like Dean Malenko versus Rey Mysterio Jr. Yeah, Dean Malenko, man of 1,000 holds, that was his nickname. He was one of the greatest technical wrestlers of all time, and he went against a lucha libre style guy of Rey Mysterio. Completely different styles, but put on a hell of a clinic. You know what I mean? You kind of
Yeah.
understand where I'm coming from, what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you see, I'm giving you a wrestling lesson. And this isn't taking away anything from you. If anything, this is knowledge that you're soaking up. And I don't
Mhm.
get to give this to a lot of people because of my time and because of their time, but I get guys who message me every day. I'm gonna name a few: Craven Rage. Um, I've had. I'm only gonna say his name for right now because Skipping Evil Clowns messaged me. I've had a lot of other guys that have messaged me and said, James, what do you think I could do? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And I give them my input when I can, and then we go from there. And then they'll tell me how they did. I help guys with their promos. I'm kind of giving you this opportunity to understand wherever company you go to, soak up all the knowledge you can, soak it up like a sponge. You should watch. that YouTube channel. Have you watched Santino Brothers yet?
Oh, that is Santino Brothers. That's who I watch for my training videos. I watch them all the time.
There you go. Perfect. Watch them I watch them still
Oh, I do,
to stay
man.
fresh.
Trust me.
Yeah,
I do.
that's good. As long as you watch it, because it's almost like you're getting a wrestling school lesson right then and there. Look,
Yeah, yeah,
D'Angelo
yeah.
said it. He's messaged me from time to time, and I've helped him with little things. Yeah, a promo session I think once before. But D'Angelo, look where he's going. Yeah, he's going to all these companies because he's getting his name out there. Some people have that luxury, some people don't. It's not that it gets brought up sometimes with me, like James, how come you don't go to all these places? Well, I've got a family that I have to attend to. I've got certain things in my life that I have to deal with. I have to
Mhm.
plan ahead before I can go on any big expense travel. When I used to go to TBW, it would cost me $300 round trip because that's a 3.5 hour drive for me. And I never got nothing out of it. So that's why I'm not there no more. I got some good things out of it. I got some matches that I wanted under my belt. I got to face Jay Wild. And do that story. The only reason I went back the first time was to face him, and I got to do the whole storyline with him, and that was great. But nonetheless, everybody's different. I know you're in a situation where you can't really go anywhere because you've got no transportation. Dude, that's part of it. I didn't get my first vehicle. Here's a pity story. I didn't get my first vehicle until I was 21. And that was because my dad finally decided to help me get one, and I paid him
Dude, oh
$500
my
for it.
god. You were literally in my situation because, like, no shade to my dad, of course, but do you know how long it took him? Like, do you know how long it took me to finally convince him to let me take my permit test?
That,
Thankfully, I
it took
have
a
a
while.
permit now. I have a permit now, but I don't even think I'd be able to trust him to take my driver's test come November.
There you go. See, D'Angelo said Massachusetts cost him $1,800. Traveling ain't for the weak, and it really isn't.
You damn right.
And
Hey, I went to TBW. It took me about 2.5 hours to get there. That was one
yeah,
time.
and that was a long ass drive for you, wasn't it? Not?
Yeah, and then right
Imagine
after
doing
that,
that. Imagine doing that uh, every other weekend for 8 months straight. I mean, it starts
and
to get
then
old quick.
yeah, and then like right after we were done with TBW, we ended up going back to where the WEF ring was, and they wanted me to do another match, and I was exhausted, I was drained, but I still went in there and I did the match because I have the passion and the dedication to actually go in there. I don't care how late it is, I don't care how tired I am. Just give me a Red Bull or a Monster Energy, and I'm good to go.
Yeah, understandable, and that's fine. So, what the purpose of this is for people to understand that you got to have a sharp mind for this business too. It isn't for the weak minded, it isn't for the weak willed. Physically, in your older matches, I'm going to critique you some. You were
Oh,
super
you
green
good?
in my eyes. I have a keen eye for a lot of stuff. I'm not going to, I don't want to sound too boastful here. I have a keen eye for little things, and I'm always watching. I'm watching all these companies, and I see all these people, and I see all these guys who wrestle, and all these guys who talk, and all this shit. And there's very few instances where I see something in somebody that could be unlocked. And the only reason I went to you is because I saw something in you that I don't see in a lot of guys, and it's the fact that I see the passion in you. I see a passion in a lot of guys, but they're already taking charge and ready to go. You're a guy who's kind of in a predicament. I've been in your shoes.
Mhm.
Don't ever freak out about it. You're kind of in a moment. Tell me if I'm wrong. You're in a spot in your life. I'm about to turn 19 years old. I am so frustrated. I just want to wrestle. I just want to do this. I'm tired of being stuck at home. Blah 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 blah. You're not
It's
the only
literally
guy.
it's literally that. You nailed it right on
You're
the head.
you're not the only guy that's ever felt that. I'm sure there's a lot of these wrestlers that have, and
I
I'm one of them included. I used to walk all over my town for years. And I look back, if you look back like at that match you watched between me and Phoenix in 2004, I saw your little reaction to it. I was
Hmm.
20 there. I was still walking around, but I was in the best shape of my life then. I actually think I'm stronger now than I was then, but I looked the way I wanted to look back then because I was always active. I was always going anywhere. When you get a car, yeah, it's nice. You get to go where you want to go, come, but you don't get to be as physically fit unless you hit the gym, of course.
Like honestly, sometimes I feel hopeless. Like sometimes I honestly feel like I'm not ever returning to backyard wrestling, and it's just because of the luck that I've been having the past 2 years. It's almost like something gets started. Like I start talking to people, like, oh shit, I'm gonna come back to backyard wrestling. Nope, can't pick you up, my man. I'm
Well,
sorry, and I'm like,
well, I mean, sometimes it happens, but you just got to be patient. And a lot of people don't like that word patience. And I've been patient for so many years. I've been patient for so many weeks, so many months. Trust me, it will pay off in the end because here's the other thing. You're patient. You got to be patient before you can get into the ring. But then, as
mhm.
soon as you get in the ring, my advice to you, if I was you and I was in your shoes, I would not go into any company thinking I'm a three-time world champion, I'm this, I'm that. None
Oh
of
yeah,
that shit
definitely.
matters. None of that shit
It
matters.
doesn't
All right
matter
out the
when you're
door.
going somewhere new.
You want to prove to people who you are, show them what you're eager to do in the ring, what you're eager to learn, and be
Hmm.
absolutely 100% safe at the end of the day. Don't go in and just say, "Oh, dump me on my head with a DDT and a choke slam or a tombstone or whatever, a pile driver." You got to make sure that you are absolutely prepared to do whatever you need to do. If I was to meet, I don't care if the guy's the 100% at doing pile driver, he's never hurt nobody in his life. I'm not going to let anybody pile driver me because I've come this close before from getting my neck broke. And that's one of my no moves is a pile driver. But I'll take a
Same.
suplex all day. I'll take certain moves all day. But there's some moves I won't do. There's that move a lot of people like, what about the Canadian Destroyer? It's like that front flip thing. It looks like a
Yeah,
pile driver or
yeah.
whatever.
I know what that move is.
Cool looking move, but ain't nobody gonna do that to me. I won't let nobody do that to me. So, and I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do it to anybody either because I'm not gonna do something to somebody that I wouldn't have done to me. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's the mindset you need to have.
So, as far as like people jumping off and doing elbow drops and cross bodies, I'll take that all day. Leg drops, that's fine. Do it to me. I open to it. Hit me,
Hmm.
Just don't hurt me because here's the other thing. If I'm in a match with somebody and somebody tags me, and they're getting a little rough. I'm gonna give them a receipt. Do you know the
Yeah.
meaning of a receipt?
Hmm.
You do?
I do.
Okay. What is it?
Someone hit If someone hits you too hard or they're going too rough, you just nail them.
Yeah. If they're too rough to you, I've had people go pretty rough on me, but I mean, it's like, it's part of it. It works. But if it starts to get to like, okay, motherfucker, you need to chill out,
Hmm.
you're about to get a receipt if you don't stop, and they don't stop, bam, I'm going to get them back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you just got to be careful and all that. But Alexander Kelly, we're going to get ready to wrap this up, but I want you to take this opportunity now, dish out whatever you want to say. Uh, all these companies that might be coming here to see this, whether they're here now or they're going to be watching this here shortly or in the future, consider this like an open interview and tell them who you are and what you're wanting and what you're willing to bring to the table as far as who you are and what you are willing to do to have a shot at at their company.
What I want is whenever I go to a company, the very first thing, because this is how I train. This is how I personally train. I want someone to get me into the ring whenever we train, and I don't want them to ask, "Oh, do you know how to do this? Do you know how to take that? Like, are you able to do this? Are you willing to do this?" It's the "are you willing" that I'm getting tired of. But uh, what I want done is whenever you get me in the ring, I want you to look at me and I want you to say, "All right. I want you to show me everything that you know. Okay? You've wrestled before. I want you to show me everything that you have learned. I want you to do every move that you learned to do. I want you to do your finisher if you have a finisher. I want you to show me everything that you know. That's how I want to get trained personally. And all that I want, this goes to any backyard wrestling company, whether it's TBW, whether it's ROEW, where like I don't care what company it is at this point. All that I want is an opportunity. Even if you want to just give me like a one off or something, let me show you everything that I could do. Let me show you everything that I'm capable of. And I'm willing to take the training, obviously. Because if I did not have the passion and the dedication for wrestling, I would not be on this live stream right now. I would not be in the wrestling scene. I would not be asking for opportunity after opportunity. I would not be getting frustrated that I have been sitting at home doing fucking nothing for the past 2 years, okay? I would not be frustrated over the fact that WEF was looking to come back at the beginning of last year, and then I went there, trained, recorded a match. I actually learned how to do my current finisher on that day. And then the show ends up not getting uploaded and they choose to shut it down. I wouldn't be getting frustrated about that if I didn't have the passion and the dedication to do wrestling. Because let
So
me
did
tell
they
you,
record that match?
they did, but they don't
But
have the footage for it anymore.
they deleted it.
Yeah, because they weren't going to make a show out of it.
So here's something that you should always do, future reference. Anytime you go to a show, ask if you can have a backup camera to record your footage just in case, or ask them to, or tell them that when you're done with your match, you want a copy of it right away, and you're not going to post it, but you want it right now, so that way you have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
that's work you've put in. Anywhere that I've ever gone, that's my rule. I mean, I'm all about social media and when to post things and when not. But everybody's like, so I don't want to give it to you yet because you might post it. I'm not gonna post it. Okay.
yeah.
So wherever I
Right.
go, I'm
That's
getting my
usually
shit that
why
day.
they that's usually why they never let me take pictures of the training session because they were always like, "Oh, I don't want you to post this because I don't want you giving away spoilers for the next show." Like, I'm not gonna do that because I'm mature.
Yeah. Well, that's not how I would do it, but there it is. But okay, Mr. Alexander Kelly. If
I want to respond to some comments, and I want to respond to one particular comment because I noticed Parker Teague asked this question when I was talking about when I came back from TBW. He was asking what match was that. I believe he's talking about like what WEF match was that I recorded right after I got back from TBW. If
yeah,
you watch if you watch WEF Showdown of 2021, the same show that I had the match with the Destroyer. If you watch the entire show from start to finish, I have 3 matches on that one show, and one of those matches was a handicap match where I took on Howard and Grizzly. That match was recorded right after I got back from TBW. So thank you for asking that question, Parker. There's your little knowledge there. But yeah, just wanted to respond to that comment.
there you go. So when you go on to Sportswire Radio, Tom would want to know is exactly what would you want to talk about? Because normally, like
Yeah.
I'm over here, I'm giving you a wrestling lesson, we're talking wrestling, but of course, wrestling is the thing there. But most of the backyard and underground guys will be going to Tom's show because you'll be streaming a little bit earlier, and that would probably be your opportunity to talk to people. What would what's kind of an idea of what you're going to talk about when you go on there?
Okay. When I go on Sportswire Radio, one of the main things I want to talk about is Tom familiar with my backyard wrestling career? And if not, I kind of want to let him know where I came from, what I did, how long it lasted before it all just suddenly ended, and what I've had to do since then.
So interesting thing about Tom is he usually does his research and homework before he talks to the individual that he's going to talk to.
Yeah.
So before he talks to you, he'll be seeing some of your stuff and seeing who you are as the person that you are. And that way
Has he
he,
checked out WEF?
I honestly don't know, but I mean, we'll find out. I know he knows they're a little bit associated with TBW and he follows TBW a lot. So
Yeah.
just give that some time. But whenever that time comes and he reaches out to you, which we're thinking it's going to be the 26th, it might be a little sooner. It just depends on his scheduling and whether somebody shows up or not.
Hmm.
But he likes to be prepared before he does interview, and that's exactly what he'll do. He'll do his stuff with you, and you'll be ready to go. Tom does his
Oh, he's in
research,
the
so don't
comments.
worry. You're gonna know you better than you know you. Yep, that's usually how it works. It's crazy.
Yeah.
D'Angelo, you need to message me, my man, and let me know when you're interested to come on here because I haven't had you as a guest yet, and that way
Hey,
we can talk
D'Angelo.
career.
Hey,
You know.
D'Angelo. Before we wrap this up, I want to know: is there any questions that you want to ask me before we wrap this up?
Yes, if anybody that is in here right now, D'Angelo, anybody else, if you got any last question you'd like to know specifically about Alexander Kelly, or you're just curious in general, go ahead. We'll give you about 2 minutes to post that. Um, in the meantime, Mr. Kelly, I know that you are in a predicament where you can't. Uh, it's like you can't seem to get out of the hole that you're stuck in. Trust me,
Yeah.
it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. When it does, it's gonna pay off. But then sometimes later on down the road, probably 20 years from now, you're gonna look back and say, "This is where I came from." And sometimes I miss it because there's times where I miss that. I love my life today. Don't get me wrong. I love my wife who I've been with for 15 years. I love everything that I have, that I own, because nothing was handed to me. I worked for everything that I've got, my knowledge. I just miss that young life sometimes that I had because
Hmm.
of my lifestyle then, where when I was in that time, I would dream of having what I've got now. I'm like, man, I wonder if if I had this, I would get these. I'd put the shit on my wall. I would get this. I'd get that. I'd play games all the time. I wouldn't worry about nothing. Huh. I miss that shit every day.
Yeah.
I miss wanting what I've got now. Um and that'll happen. Here we go, D'Angelo. Honestly, I got you. I can ask you, why don't you go to OVW and train there? And I know you said transportation is a big issue, but does your area have buses you could possibly get on?
Nope.
You don't have no buses. You don't have like a Greyhound bus or anything near you?
Nope. And I don't have money to pay for professional training yet either.
Okay, now professional training, yeah, a lot of places require money and stuff.
Hmm.
But then these backyard companies don't. But what's the
Yeah.
biggest city closest to you?
Biggest city closest to me,
Yeah,
Lexington.
Lexington. How far is that usually?
About an hour, hour and a half.
Okay. So what you could do, this is what I would do if I was you, just something to try, okay? Hear me out. I would look into, if you ever get the opportunity. You're working now. Do what you need to do right now, get your money situated, pay your bills, whatever you're doing to get money.
I wish I was getting more hours to do that.
I know, but hey, it is what it is. But when you get to a level where you can make a little extra money and you got it, I would look up a Greyhound bus station in Lexington and see if they have one. If they have one, then look, say you wanted to come to ROEW, look how much it would cost for a round trip. Not just a trip, a round trip. Round trip is to go there and to be able to come back. Round
Yeah.
trip ticket from Lexington, Kentucky to Michigan or wherever and all that. And then you see how much it costs. Now you got an idea. Or if it was to Tennessee, to Lafayette, but it wouldn't be to Lafayette, Tennessee. It would actually be to Nashville, Tennessee. Then somebody would have to come pick you up. And I know a lot of the TBW guys usually go to pick up people there. They did it with Anthony. They did it with other people. I know that came down. But you could do a trip to Nashville, Tennessee. Such and such comes and picks you up, takes you to the arena. You do your stuff, you hang out, stay the night, whatever you're doing. Then they take you back to the bus station that same day or that night or the next day or whenever your round trip is. Then you get back on the bus and you go back home. And shit, you're ready to go. And that's an idea. Doesn't mean you have to do it, doesn't mean you can't do it. Don't ever say, I'm gonna tell you this as an older man. Don't ever say it can't happen or it's impossible. It will. You just got to have the patience. Do what you're doing. You're already on the right track. You got a job. Now you just got to get more hours. Look what you did tonight. You showed that company wherever you work. It's none of my business. You don't have to throw it out to the world. But wherever you work, they called you in tonight and you went in. That's
Hmm.
showing them, hey, this guy's reliable. So that means if he's willing to do this, let's give him more shifts. Let's give him more hours. And if anything, I would tell your boss, your supervisor, whoever it is, like, hey, man, if you ever need me to come in on one of my days off, I'm more than willing to because I need to get as many hours as I can. And if they say
Hmm.
okay, then leave it at that. Hell, say tomorrow you're off, just for shits and giggles. Say, you know what? I really, if I could go in and work today, that'd be great. I'd call them up like, hey, blah blah blah. You need anybody? Did anybody call out today? You need any extra help? I'm willing to. I'm free today if you need any help. They might tell you, hey, yeah, go ahead, come on in. I've had that happen. I've had that. I've done that. I've been there before because it's like, man, I really want to get that new WWE DVD. I want to get, I need to get some extra minutes for my phone or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So there you go. Let's see. Well, Parker said that's too fancy in Barberville. I'm from there too. Okay. D'Angelo said if I could get in contact with you with some Kentucky promotions, I'll definitely can help you out with at least put a word in for you.
Hey, I appreciate that. D'Angelo, do you have my Instagram?
If you don't have his Instagram, just look up Alexander Kelly, or I could just message him to you, D'Angelo, if you want.
Hmm.
Totally up to you. And see, D'Angelo's a good guy, and that's what this is all about. All wrestling matters, and it really is. He actually already knows you on there, so perfect.
All right.
So hey, there you go. There's something y'all can maybe talk. D'Angelo knows some people. He can talk. Who knows? He might be able to find you something that some people can't. There might be something near you don't even know that's near you. You know that? There
Hmm.
might be. There might be. You never know. Anything can happen. And that's why we're doing this today. See, I'm bringing you on because I have a louder voice and I'm able to expand. Maybe your connections could get expanded somehow today. But look, this is coming from me, Taft Taylor, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow operatives, the Nemesis James Taylor. I am telling you, this kid's got heart. He's got passion. He's got a lot of
Excuse me.
integrity. He wants to learn. He's eager to learn. He's eager to get in the ring. He's eager to do anything that you want him to do so he can have a chance. I'm telling you, because I have the keen eye for it, he deserves a chance. Give him a chance. And that's going on me. So now that being on me, Mr. Kelly, if that opportunity happens sooner than later or whenever it does, don't let me down. That's all I ask you. Don't let me down. Okay?
I
Go in
definitely
there,
will not.
go in there with that heart, and don't just. I want to critique you real quick. You said I want them to ask me to show them what I could do. Okay, that's part of the training. They're gonna be like, "What can you do?" And then you're like, "I could do this." Okay, show me. And then they're gonna want you to show them. And then if you don't do it right, they're gonna tell you, and you can't get upset about it.
Hmm.
They're gonna be like, "Okay, you
Yeah.
didn't do that right. You got the idea of it, but this is how you're supposed to do it, the safe way." Take
Hmm.
that and be like, perfect, let me try it. And do it like muscle memory. It's just like riding a bike. It's just like walking. Do that move over and over again until you feel like I know what I'm doing. And record yourself. Take your phone. Put your phone, ask them, say, hey, can I set my phone up for documentary cases for myself so that way I can do homework and learn this? And I promise you, they will almost always say, hell yeah, go ahead, set it up. So there you go. DKW in the house, and they're saying, evening, gentlemen. They were the host of Summer Bash 2024. Summer Bash 2, mind you. Can't wait to see a lot of these matches. I know there's some matches that aren't going to be broadcasted. I hope that, hello, anybody out there can hear me. I would like to see that match. Um, nonetheless, DKW, really good guys. Dark Cron, I know, is that he's a veteran like myself, and there's a dream match I know that he wants: James Taylor versus Dark Cron. Hey, who knows? Dark Cron, in a way, Dark Cron is almost like you, Kelly. He's like you in the future because he's older, but he looks just like you. He's just as tall as you. He's skinny like you, but the motherfucker can wrestle. He's really good. So, I have you checked out DKW before?
I have not, but I may do that in the near future.
you need to do you need to look at these companies. I know you're like social media this. I've heard you on your broadcasts. I've heard you in your videos. Listen to me.
Hmm.
Social media, just because you're doing it and you feel like it's not going nowhere, it's just because you haven't expanded enough yet. You haven't grown yet. It's patience. It's building blocks. You're doing one little brick at a time. Reach out. Go to look at what I did. Look at what I did. Look at I take a little credit of this, and they will back me up on it. I believe they will back me up on it. Tom has already done it, and I know they've done it themselves. Look at a company like IMF Wrestling. I found them like I did you, and I saw something in that company that I didn't see in a lot of others, and I reached out to them. I brought them on my platform. We talked, got to know each other, even set certain matches up. I mean, I shouldn't have set up a match to say I'd do it and then not show up. Now it's to the point where it's like we just know, hey, one day it'll happen because the three magic words is never say never. But look at the company. When I first found them last year, they had a little over 300 subscribers. You look at them now, they're almost at 2,000 subscribers. They've reached out to people like I did.
Damn.
And look, D'Angelo has worked with them. I have helped them, and I'm anybody, it's all wrestling matters. What I'm saying is you should look at DKW, for instance. Find a match you might like and do a reaction to it like you did my match. React to other companies' matches and tag them in your videos on YouTube. They will be like, who's this guy? Hey, this guy's watching my stuff. Oh, this is what he thinks. Okay, that's cool. That's going to get more eyes to you like that. Here you are right here by yourself. I'm over here at DKW. I'm going to watch their stuff, blah, blah, blah. DKW is like, hey, well, who's this guy? And now they're going to see who you are. Oh, here's IMF. Now they're going to come watch who you are. Here's ROEW. Here's TBW. Here's all these people. They're all coming to you if you're constantly watching and giving your honest opinion on stuff. How much you like the match, what you didn't like about the match, what you could have, whatever, in your own way. I would I'm gonna throw that to you and you play with it. You do what you want. There's a few little comments. Let's go right here. D'Angelo said, "Yes, sir. Summer Bash. How's it going, D'Angelo from DKW? I'm good, man. Finna get ready to hit the road again. Look at D'Angelo on the road. Get out there and get that work." Like I said, most definitely. So if you could take anything else from me tonight, Mr. Kelly, it's just be patient, and everything is gonna come to you and hit you all almost at the same time before you know it. And when it does, it's going to explode and you're going to have a blast and you're going to be safe. You need to be safe and have
Yeah.
fun and show these motherfuckers who the hell you are and why you want to be in this business and make a name for yourself, just like guys like D'Angelo, just like Anthony Steels and Craven Rages and Omen Black, Soldier GP, and DKW guys. You just do your thing, you know? Uh oh, we lost him. Can you
Nah,
still
I'm
hear
still
me?
here.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm still here.
So is there anything
I wanted
anything
to
else you want to say or plug before we go?
yes, I actually wanted for anyone who's interested, if you ever want to check out the RUW channel, this is what it looks like. It's Real Undisputed Wrestling, and
I'll put a link in the
this is the
description below.
profile picture.
I'll put a link in the description below so that way people can click on it if they
Alrighty.
want
We
to follow.
also have a website if you want to go check that out. It is realundisputedwrestling.home.blog.
Okay. Okay. Send me the link to that and I'll put that in the description as well. That way everybody can find you and go check Alexander Kelly out on Instagram at Alexander Kelly. D'Angelo already knows. Maybe he'll be reaching out with you shortly or in the next coming days. Who knows? And just stay in touch, man. Is there anything else you wanted to say? Any
Um,
questions you got for me?
not right now, currently, no.
That's okay. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna cut this now, and ladies and gentlemen, my name is Taft Taylor, and we're at 40,500 subscribers, and I am totally stoked about that because we are growing at an exceptional rate. We kind of took a pause, but right now, 40,500 subscribers is. I just want to thank everybody. Um, I have started a new channel called Taffy's Lounge. It is a lofi music, upbeat and relaxing channel. I will put that in the link in the description below. I've put it on my community tab here on Taft Taylor. If you haven't checked it out, it's an experimental channel that I made. And in just under 2 months, I've already gotten over 540 subscribers. We're on our way to 1,000. Um, if anybody needs help with YouTube analytics or anything, let me know because I'm branching into a lot of YouTube and TikTok business now. I just crossed 84,000 followers on TikTok. Please go and check that out. Taff_Taylor. This is my guest, Mr. Alexander Kelly. He is the owner of RUW. He also, I believe, has a Discord channel. So definitely get in touch with him if you're interested in that. I think you stream on Twitch and you do your little promo company on there, right? So
Yeah. The Twitch is the Alex Kelly.
the Alex Kelly. So there you go, right there. I'll put a link to that. You're gonna have like 3 or 4 links I'm gonna put down in the description so everybody can find you out. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Taft Taylor. Thank you so much. This is Alexander Kelly, and we will catch you down the road, and we'll see you in episode 2 very soon. And we